Welcome, everybody, to another episode of The Savage Patriots.
Bad
Um,
boy for life.
we're going to start this off the right way. Please make sure you smash that like button and the share button and also the Sunny button so we have Sunny and
Yep.
share. That'd be good. We're going to be talking about Mr. Puffy Combs today. Um, and
Also
we
known
have,
as.
huh?
Also known as.
Also
The
known as
diddler.
the Diddler, P. Diddler.
The
We call him
diddler.
Sean because he did say that nobody else is allowed to call him Sean but Jay-Z and his mother. So Sean.
Yeah, well, he
Combs.
slept with Jay-Z too, by the way. So
At
did you hear
point,
that?
I'm not surprised.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, man.
Doesn't surprise
Apparently,
me.
apparently, him and
Mm.
Jay-Z had a thing too.
Oh yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Who didn't he have a thing
They were
with?
they were best friends.
Me,
Me.
Yours truly.
yeah.
I meant in that circle of people that they were around since
I
the
don't know.
90s.
Who knows?
Probably nobody.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably
I
nobody.
mean, I think him and the Saint Lunatics were in a train together with each other.
Mm.
Nelly and Murphy Lee and all them.
Now, when you say train, do you mean the physical train or a train?
Yes to all.
Yeah.
It is Diddy we're talking about now.
Yes,
Um,
very true.
It is all
What
of
didn't Diddy do?
them. Do what did Diddy dumb didn't do when Diddy did it. So we're gonna look at it. We got the case file here, and so
Oh,
we're gonna
that's so juicy.
just kind of dive in on the first portion to talk about some things with this case
Hmm.
and see if any of it leads us to think as to why the feds might have invaded his home, if it was something
Mm-hmm.
in these paperworks that gave them an inclination. All right. United States Federal Court, Southern District of New York. Rodney Jones is the guy putting forth the case. He's bringing charges, and it's against Sean Combs, his son, a girl in Ethiopia. You'll see her picture in a minute. Lucian Charles Grange, Christina Coram. She's another one. Christina Coram is kind of like the Puffy's version of Ghislaine Maxwell. Just so you know.
Oh.
That's his Ghislaine Maxwell.
Okay.
Chalice Records, Love Records, Motown Records, Universal Music Group, Combs
That right
Global
there.
Enterprises, John and Jane Doe's 1 and 10, 1 through 10, and ABC Corporations 1 through 10.
Mm.
Wait, hang on. So by ABC Corporation, we're also including Disney, right?
All of them.
Whoo! Oh! Oh my goodness.
Another one bites the dust.
So here we have trigger warning. This document contains highly graphic information of a sexual nature, including sexual assault. Additionally, there are graphic images of the aftermath of a shooting, retracted images of sexual intercourse, redacted images of minors, sex workers, and prostitutes, details of sex trafficking and illegal distribution of guns and drugs.
Oh.
Yeah. Some people are saying this all came about because he decided to get with Young Miami, and that's probably what led to his downfall because she couldn't shut the hell up.
I think it was coming either way.
Yeah.
When Cassie filed her court case, I think it was in a matter of time.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody felt easier to do it now. Plaintiff Rodney Lil Rod Jones hereby alleges as for his complaint against defendant Sean Combs and blah, 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 them people.
A bunch of other people.
He says the court has personal jurisdiction over defendants under the and consistent with the constitutional requirements of due process of defendants acting directly or through his agents and apparent agents committed one of the more the following transaction of any business within the state, the making of any contract with the state, commissions of tortious acts within the district, and ownership or use of possession of any real estate in this state. Now, let's get to the people. We know who they are. These are the parties. We don't need to know any more than that. Here's Mr. Combs.
Mm-hmm.
This is Justin Dior Combs. Now, just so you know, Puffy was actually grooming his kids to take his role, just so you know.
Mm-hmm.
Lucian Grange, Motown Records. Ethiopia Hab Temariam. And here is His Ghislaine Maxwell.
Looks like her.
Mm.
Same hair,
Mhm.
same looking face, pretty similar nose. There she is.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He likes the white meat with this one.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't they all
So,
though?
It's better than Harvey Weinstein's taste, which was a butch lesbian who
Yeah.
got a deal with Disney afterwards. So
That is
Yeah.
true.
All right, go back. They didn't have the pictures of the. What is that?
That is Motown. Motown.
Okay.
I'm looking here to see the okay, here we go. Summary of events 2022 to November 23. He produced songs on Mr. Combs' Love album. He lived with Mr. Combs for 9 months, according to holidays, when spending holidays and major family events. Mr. Jones resided with Mr. Combs' residence located in Los Angeles, California, New York City, Miami, and Florida. Mr. Jones also spent several weeks on a yacht rented by Mr. Combs in the U.S. Virgin Islands. What other place was down there? There's another place down there.
Epstein.
Hmm.
It was a little
Yeah.
island.
I don't know.
Epstein.
Something
a-
called little something.
Little Saint Nick?
something.
No.
Yeah.
St. James. St.
St.
James.
James. James. Yeah,
Yeah.
little St. James.
Yes,
Wasn't it?
yes.
Ain't that something? Throughout his time with Mr. Combs, he witnessed, experienced, and endured many things that went far beyond his role as a producer.
Oh, I can imagine.
The claims raised in the complaint have been corroborated with witness statements, audio recordings, and video recordings,
Mm.
and images that Mr. Jones has in his possession.
Mhm.
And unhear one of the audios that's been leaked. That stuff that was going on.
Mm-hmm. Now, if the FBI was looking for any corroborative evidence in Combs's home, it's because they have something to look for. And if he has actual video footage of things taking place and Combs is on it, yeah, I think that might be it for Shawnee.
Bad boy about to be bad boy.
Might be it.
Uh-uh.
Mr. Combs required Mr. Jones to record him constantly. Over several occasions, Mr.
Weird.
Combs took Mr. Jones' cell phone and began recording himself.
Mm.
As a result, Mr. Jones has secured hundreds of hours of footage and audio recordings of Mr. Jones' staff is engaging in serious illegal activity. What are those activities? Acquisition, use, distribution of ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and mushrooms.
Oh,
And
of course.
displaying and distributing unregistered illegal firearms. He provided alcoholic beverages to minors and sex workers at his home. Christina Coram instructed her staff to retrieve drugs so that she could provide Mr. Combs for his consumption. He assaulted women. He planned to leverage his relationship with Bishop T.D. Jakes so often to impact his public image of Cassie Ventura's lawsuit. You guys see whose name got put in there, just so y'all know.
Mhm.
Young Miami's cousin and or assistant sexually assaulted Mr. Jones. Cuba Gooding Jr. also
Yeah.
did the same thing.
Oof.
Yeah. So that is what's being alleged thus far, and this is
Alleged.
what was brought
Allegedly.
forward when we heard about the raid. Now, my question to the panel here is this: if they found anything that corroborated what Mr. Jones is saying, how is it that Mr. Combs is not arrested yet?
Money.
It's obviously money.
There's a lot of money involved, and there's a lot of people connected, almost like Epstein. So
Yeah.
they know if they bring P. Diddy, Sean Combs in, they know he's going to talk. They know he's going to spill the beans. So they're not going to bring him in anytime soon. I think there's going to be an agreement, and there's papers signed to where he can't talk.
But I have to also take a wide swath and just try and remember the amount of connections that he had between everybody in the entertainment industry. Like we're
Yes.
like everybody, like I'm thinking back to Jermaine Dupri. I'm thinking back to Nelly Murphy Lee, which leads me to also know that he's got connections to Sierra. He's got connections with Missy Elliott. He's got connections with And then I have to wonder what did Biggie Smalls know?
He knows a lot. Have you heard that interview that he gave recently?
No,
Recently.
I'll have to find that. Yeah, no, I'll get a clip. He basically said that Diddy's done as soon as he gets to jail. Like he's not gonna make it in there.
Oh, that was Suge Knight.
Was it Suge Knight? Yeah, okay. So
Yeah,
it wasn't-
sure, yeah.
yeah, it was Suge Knight, right?
It was
But
Suge Knight, but go ahead, Jay. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say,
That was my
like
bad.
did Biggie Smalls know a whole lot more than he
Yes, that's why he
bargained
died.
for? And that's what I
Yeah.
was gonna say.
Yeah, I think, and Marlon and I was talking about this backstage. I think Biggie knew a lot that was going on, and he wanted out. And I think at some point he was trying to get out of Bad Boys Records, and
Encountered the
things
bad
happened.
boy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think he knew he wasn't down with it. He wanted out. He tried to move, and they ended up taking him. And there it
I mean,
is. Rock
Or
the
that-
boat.
That's the only that's the only photo you need to know when it comes to what connections Diddy had, and it was because he raised a ton of money for the Democratic Party
Mhm.
for a very
Well,
long time.
He probably supported. He probably supplied him with more than just money too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but
You are
that's
the
but
company.
when we're talking.
Pizza.
Yeah, because it's one of those things. Like, what connections does he have? He has a lot of connections, and he did a lot of things for a lot of people, including fundraise for them for a very long time. So why isn't he in jail yet? It's because of that. Now, how long does it take before he finds himself self-deleted? I don't know. We will find out.
Yeah. He's just Epstein, melanated. and
Melanated Epstein, yeah.
He's the same. He's the same, and it's a whole network of these people. You know, it's just everyone only had their eye on Epstein. If you think it's just Epstein, it's not. It's Diddy. If you think it's just Diddy, it's not. It's all of them. Every single one of these people in power and influence, and well, let me not say every single one of them, but the majority of them are involved in this, and this will be the downfall of the entertainment industry. This
Not
is not
just the
going to work
entertain-
out like Epstein.
When you say that, understand the wide swath of what that means. That means gospel music is incriminated because TD Jakes is
Yeah.
in the circle.
Mhm.
And that means TD Jakes knows all of the who's it's and what's it's about the gospel music industry from.
So is Lecrae.
I was gonna say Lecrae, Kirk Franklin.
He's been to a Diddy party.
Mm-hmm.
So is Tyler Perry. You know,
Yeah.
Tyler Perry's been to him. You got to think Oprah. You got to think of all these people, man, that are involved. And they're it's hard to keep quiet about this one. It was a little easier with Epstein because Epstein wasn't out in the limelight. He wasn't out there really like Diddy was. Diddy was everywhere. And he had some big names with him, entertainers.
Oh gosh, I mean,
He was loud. He was a mediocre talent that was backed by people that needed him for something.
Yep. Ain't no
Yeah,
party
well,
like a Diddy party. They called out LeBron James. But
Mr. Combs attempted to groom Mr. Jones into engaging in unstraight sex.
wow.
Mr. Combs was aware that Mr. Jones looked up to and idolized producer Stevie Aaron Jordan. And he was, of course, tied up with Jodeci, Faith Adam, Jay-Z. There is him.
Mhm.
Tevin Campbell has also been touched.
Oh, yeah.
Just so y'all know, Eve. And Mr. Combs used access to Steve J and his knowledge of Mr. Jones' admiration of Steve J to groom and entice Mr. Jones to engage in homosexuality. Mr. Combs went so far as to share a video of Stevie J penetrating a Caucasian male without protection. This was done to ease Mr. Jones's anxiety concerning the gay stuff. According to Mr. Combs, this is a normal practice in the music industry. Look, even Stevie J is doing it.
okay. So if I heard you correctly, Diddy was basically saying, "Look, we all do it. Look,
Mhm.
even the big guys do it. So you could do it too." Kind of thing.
Mhm.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. There's a big glaring problem with this coming to light is the fact that Diddy had conservatorship over Justin Bieber when he was 15 years old.
Yes. And Usher. Usher.
Have you seen that video of him and Justin? Like I don't
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's seen that. I got that pulled up from YouTube, and people they've got it embedded in their article. But he was 15 years old when he took conservatorship
Yeah, he
of
was.
him.
Promised him a car and
And-
all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna go get some girls together, but I don't think they were getting girls. I don't think that's what was happening. It's
Well-
pretty nutty to listen to this.
Could have been girls, but like baby girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you rock this every time you come to LA. Yeah, this gonna be yours. So every time you come to LA, it's a little dust.
Just a reminder, this is 2009, and this is Justin Bieber at 15 years old. Just want to make sure we're tracking on that and how disgusting this whole thing is.
But you know, come get the front shot of this.
Man.
Minute out. Minute.
Woo. Okay.
Okay?
All right. So I'm gonna be driving this next year.
Yeah, when you get 16, you come down there, you gotta, you know, wear your seatbelt.
I mean,
and
I'm
everything.
15. You could ride in the passenger seat. I got my permit. Now that, not yet.
No.
All right.
You're not
16.
ready. You're not ready.
16.
Let's slow
All right.
down. Let's slow down, Jess.
Okay.
Let's slow down, okay?
One step at a time.
But yeah, the keys is yours when you know, when you get 16. You're good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you lick his lip
Then
looking
you
at the
get
kid.
18, you get the house.
Hmm.
You get the mansion.
Saw that.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So where are we off to now?
Where would you like to go?
I mean, wherever you want to go. Where are we going?
We just so check this out, yo. Justin, he's in. You ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy. Him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's
Wonder why.
definitely a 15-year-old's dream. You know, I have.
I doubt that very, very, very much. I doubt that very much. 'Cause
Yeah,
we
but,
just
you
read
know-
you what was happening behind the scenes already, and then you apply this video on top of what we already know about what Diddy does in the music industry, and that this is normal practice, right?
Yeah, when it comes to like Bieber, you know, I blame his parents also.
And-
What parent?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What parent in their right mind would let their 15-year-old kid go stay at another grown man's house? It's not a family member, not a close family member, not a close family friend. Let this kid stay at his house for 48 hours. Who would do that? This is why it's all tied to money. He paid
Mhm.
the parents for them to allow their son to come stay there. Then he's giving them all these gifts. What if some grown man came to my son when he was 15 years old? It's like, I'm going to give you a Lamborghini and I'm going to give you this mansion. That's a red flag to me. I'd be like, hold up, homeboy. No.
Why is this grown man love bombing a 15-year-old kid who I don't know at this time if he's known for the things that he's been doing, but somebody knew the kind
He
of
was.
things
He
that he
was
was
known.
doing.
When did Baby get released? Anyone know?
Ooh,
I don't know off the top of my head. You have to look it up.
That's-
that was in mid 2000s.
Was it already?
I think 2006, 2007, maybe, or maybe 2008.
it
Because
might
I
have
know,
been just before this video.
yeah, I was a drill sergeant, and I remember that
Mhm.
song. Everybody was talking about Bieber, and I
Oh,
didn't
it
know.
came out. No, it came out in 2010.
No.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
I was a drill sergeant in 2010. So, and I remember everyone was talking about him, and I didn't even know who the kid was. And then I heard the song. I was like, "Oh, this is kind of poppy, catchy." Yeah.
Yeah.
When was this video?
Yeah. See, this also goes to the Nickelodeon documentary and
Mhm.
how these kids were shopped around by
all of it-
executives.
All of it's tied together, and like I said, once they get Diddy and he starts talking, you're going to see everything. And we act like we're surprised about this. Come on, let's be real here. This has been talked about by many people, but what did they label them all as?
Menon.
Crazy, right? Oh, this person's crazy. They need their meds. They put them in mental hospitals. They blackball them from Hollywood. They do all this stuff. They blackball them from music because they're coming out and actually talking about this stuff. And then they get told that they're crazy. And then all the super fans of these evil celebrities back the celebrity instead of listening to the victim that said, no, this happened. No, you're crazy. They wouldn't do that. Come on, man. It's nothing new. More is
So-
going to come out.
So then, well, I have to ask the question now because I heard it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I misinterpreted this, but it said that when a criminal enters jail and they find themselves violated by other prisoners, that's when their obsession with tattoos comes into play. On top of it, so now that Bieber is covered in tattoos, is it possible that because of the trauma that he experienced, that his entire personality shifted in that sense? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, look at
Yeah.
Amanda Bynes.
yeah.
I mean, that's a great example. I mean, she was, I think, more than likely, and in all actuality, abused, and that's why she had a sudden and dramatic downshift and destruction of her life after being used at Nickelodeon. I would say.
Mhm.
So I would agree with that, like, wholeheartedly.
Oh, here's the man.
Been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have
Yes.
you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming and you
You have
Not
TDJ.
overwhelming.
I need that as a sound bite.
Now,
Jesus,
and
that's just a weird soundboard. Have you
Here's
ever
the
been
thing.
swallowed?
Ladies and gentlemen, that is one of America's most popular preachers.
Yep. And he labeled himself a bishop at that. So you have these religious leaders, and you can go all the way into about how there's a lot of Pharisees within religion, but he's one of them. And you get people out here that give this guy thousands and thousands of dollars to live his $1 million lifestyle while he's telling you what's said in the Bible that's not good, that's evil, and he's turning around and doing the same thing while taking your money. Think about that, America.
Yeah.
Mr. Combs informed Jones that he had engaged in intercourse with rappers, R&B singer, and Stevie J. I'm going to go on a limb and
Redacted.
Can't hear you.
Your audio went out right as you're about to lay down the deets, man.
Dang.
back now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got
Yeah,
you.
okay, you're back.
I don't know
You're
why
back.
it went muted, but in
Your
any
FBI
case,
guy didn't like it.
yeah, I'm going to go on a limb and say that R&B singer is Usher.
I believe it.
Mm,
I'm going to say that's
Mhm.
Usher. I wouldn't be surprised if Meek Mill was the rapper
Okay.
that
I
he's
believe
talking
it.
about here.
Yep.
Mr. Combs promised to make sure that Mr. Jones wins producer of the year at the
Producer.
Grammys if he engaged in blah 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 blah. The
There's a
following are
gap.
screenshots of a video, Stevie J penetrating a male that Mr. Combs provided to Mr. Jones. There you go. Okay, we're not gonna.
That he provided.
Yeah, he provided.
He went by
He
that picture with a
provided?
quickness.
Jesus.
Yep. Ain't that
He
something?
was not trying to show. Yeah.
Ain't that something? Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the bigger. So here's Mr. Jones. He's the one with the hair there. And these two ladies also assaulted him, Young Miami and another woman, her cousin. And don't ask how a woman can assault a man, because it is quite easy when he says no and they say yes. And they proceed to use their wiles. Here's the thing. A man has two choices if a woman decides to try and have her way with him. Push and harm her physically, which could end up in a very bad situation for him, or
Mhm.
allow it to happen against his will, which is assault. You see, when you say that men are the notorious number one assaulters of women, I think many people do not realize that if we were to fight back, when a woman did it, we would still be in trouble because we're stronger.
Mhm.
What also goes underreported too.
Yes, yes. Maybe if we hit back more often, it'd be reported more often. I don't know. Anyway, throughout his time with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones was transported from California to New York, Florida, and the United States Virgin Islands. During his time, he was forced to solicit sex workers and perform acts to the pleasure of Mr. Combs, just like Epstein. And he would bring prostitutes and workers back to his home in Miami. And these are those cases here. Jones recalls waking up naked, dizzy, and confused because Mr. Combs had drugged him.
Mm.
He was in bed with two workers and Mr. Combs. He recalls aimlessly wandering around the house with no clothes on. Yep. So that's only not even that's only 20 pages in of a 75-page mock-up for Mr. Combs. There is
Oh,
a
what-
guy, Muhammad. Let me get his name. Muhammad. He is another one of the guys that was linked to both P. Diddy and to Michael Jackson.
Mm.
As his bodyguard. He was the first one on site at Michael Jackson's death. Probably more likely to run interference of some sort, because I guess one of the bodyguards said at the time of the death of Michael Jackson that somehow he was told by the doctor to hide all the drugs that were there. Ironically, that bodyguard worked for the same bodyguard that worked for Sean Combs.
Jeez.
Now, so did Combs help kill Michael Jackson? This is where all of this is going to end up coming out into the wash. Now, if he did have a hand in ending Michael Jackson because he was getting to the point where he wanted to become the mogul that Michael Jackson was, there's some pretty crazy stuff that will come out in the wash here too.
What connection does Michael have to Diddy? That's because it
Sony.
doesn't seem like they did.
Sony.
Sony.
Because right after Michael died, Puffy signed a deal with Sony Records.
Sony grabbed up all the rights to Michael's
And then
catalog.
at the time, the head guy, what was his name again? Oh gosh, I forget his name. A black guy, but he was one of the lead guys and
I know who you're talking about.
CEOs for Sony.
Mm.
And he ended up going to Arista Records, and once he came back to Sony, that's when P. Diddy signed his contract, and Michael was dead by then.
Well, you know what?
Clive, yeah, Clive.
Yeah, Clive. It was right on the tip of my tongue too. But
Hmm.
you know what's crazy about Diddy is that the fact that he would film everything, that's very arrogant. And the fact
all
he
do.
would film it, and yeah, they all do it, but film it thinking that they would never get caught, thinking that he would always be protected. So, you know, you can't get rid of that stuff. So he can't deny anything. He can't say, well, that never happened. Well, that never happened, because it's all on film. You know?
Now, if you watched Epstein recorded, and they were, of course, he was recording it for blackmail purposes, but also for his fetish. It's his fetish. You're not thinking, okay, I can tell you this. When you're addicted to something, you're not trying to hide it. Half the time when you're so full blown into it and you don't care who finds out, you don't care who finds out.
Yep.
You'll keep paraphernalia all around the house. You'll keep, when you have that kind of that addiction, it don't matter who finds it. But secondly, if he's known to wipe out people of the level of caliber of Tupac and Biggie, and that word goes around that if you screw around and mess with Sean to the point where he feels threatened by you, you could end up dead. I wouldn't be saying nothing, and I'd let him do what he got to do.
Yeah,
if I was in that circle, the same way people don't talk about Hillary.
that is very true.
You're gonna get gone, heartbeat.
But you know what, Diddy? It's not like he was hiding it, like you said. He was very bold, even when he was getting interviewed. He was just very, very bold about it. Like, remember that interview with him, Kevin Hart, and Usher, I think, and he talked about we used to wake up in the bed fighting over the cereal. Then he had to come back and say, "Well, but he was telling us right there what he's doing." He was bold about it.
Don't forget, she's involved in this too, by the way, in case y'all forgot this lady.
Not surprised.
Have you seen her lately?
Don't forget her, okay? Don't
Oh,
forget that she's a part of this.
Which would mean that her current man, Ben Affleck, is also a part of it.
If he knows.
Fahim Muhammad, that's the guy's name. Here he is, Fahim Muhammad, the bodyguard for Sean Combs and the first one on the scene at Michael Jackson's death.
He looks like a guy who would.
That's not shady at all, right?
He's the cleanup guy.
Yeah,
What
that's
Puff told them is if you ever run into any problems with the law, you get pulled over, or they find anything on you in a hotel room, this is the guy to call. He's the cleanup man, and that's what he was. His staff was always told to always contact Mr. Muhammad if they were ever pulled over by the police in Miami or California. Upon information and belief, Mr. Muhammad spoke with LAPD after G was shot at CRS, and the LAPD was at CRS and witnessed the blood in the restroom, and they went with the bogus claim that the shooting occurred outside the studio. This is all thanks to Mr. Muhammad's connections within law enforcement.
Wow.
There's also another claim by another bodyguard that he was an FBI informant.
People don't realize this, brother. First and foremost, Puff has been dodging
Is that the loudest?
the legal system for years.
Yep. There you go.
Puff being, and this is documented. Puff being a CI for an FBI agent. They was taking some papers up to the FBI, so like when they was here in New York. They was taking paperwork up there and stuff like that. Don't know what it was, but later on found out that he was a CI.
It's a convoluted case. It's a very convoluted case. I have a suspicion that if Diddy doesn't go to jail, it will be because he's working with the feds to get somebody else to replace him as the fall guy.
Yeah, that's believable. But Suge Knight came out and said also it's not. Of course, we know it's not just Diddy, but he named Snoop, he named Jay-Z, he named Diddy, he named a whole bunch of other people that are all involved in this. This is why, we know it's true. If this goes down, there's going to be the music industry, and we're not just talking about the performers. We're talking about all the way up to the top. People are going to start getting name dropped. And then maybe it does come out and say they had Michael Jackson killed, they had Biggie killed, they had Tupac killed, all these powerful, music influencers who were telling the truth in a lot of their music. They were saying what was going on. And if all this comes out, man, you're going to see a shift. But you're still going to have the monkeys back there that are just going to support him regardless. There's Big Suge.
So here's that collect call with Suge Knight from prison.
I tell you what, Puffy, your life is in danger because you know the secrets.
All the way up, all the way up.
On that little secret room you guys participating in. So, they're going to get you if they can. It's a little crazy how Puffy get booted out the alcohol business and Jimmy Iovine steps in with Andre and Snoopy promoting it. It's never a good look when it comes to culture of hip-hop and for our community, our people. I turn myself in. Sometimes you gotta face the music. That's most of the time. Puffy, I'm gonna give you some real advice. 2 quick things. You gotta make a decision. When you go to prison, either you're gonna be standing up pissing or squatting sitting down pissing. I advise you to try to take the first one, because if you're squatting pissing on the seat, you know what that means. Oh yeah, by the way, do not do your time going by Brother Love. Brother Love is not a good code name for prison. I'm out.
You overdid it, Holmes. You in the danger zone.
Wow. And that's coming from the most diabolical person in the music known to man, diabolical. And he's letting them know. So, and the thing with how you can take what he says as real is because he has nothing to lose, man. He's behind bars. He's sitting behind bars. He's going to be behind bars. So he has nothing to lose lying. What is he gaining from lying, per se?
He don't have to lie.
No.
But he also, he is trying to tell PDD how to run. If you notice what he said, though, he's trying to make it look like I don't think you did anything, did he? But they're just coming after you. Trust me, he
Mhm.
did stuff. Okay. Suge is also the one that said he didn't do nothing when he did a whole lot of stuff too. So I'm just saying.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't-
Yeah. He's
Doesn't
not
everybody?
in.
So Akon was confronted about going to one of Diddy's parties. You know, the freak out parties that
Mhm.
nobody wants to say what happens at. Yeah.
Everyone was at his 50th birthday. Is there any, take you have on that? Like, it is kind of true. Everyone does party. Everyone's been there.
Well, I mean,
Kardashians, everybody.
man, the thing is, I don't really party much, so I couldn't really speak much on it. But
Yeah.
I would like to say, just pray for the man. God knows best.
Just pray for the man.
Come on, man.
Just pray for the man. I don't party much, so I wouldn't know about that.
Come on, man.
I've never been to one of them things.
So what are you praying for?
Yeah.
Why would you need to pray for him if you didn't know what happens at one of those parties, man?
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Prayer's not going to save him. And, for him not to know, Diddy was flamboyant and outspoken about how he got down.
Mm-hmm.
You talk
All
to
the time.
anybody within his circle, or you watch any interviews of people that were within his circle, been to his party, they would say it. Matter of fact, Cat Williams came out and said it in one stand-up, but he didn't say who. He just said, I went to one of these parties and they got all these rooms, and you go into one room, you didn't want to walk in that room. He was telling us.
They're weird, man.
They called him
Weird.
crazy. Cat, they called him crazy. Dave Chappelle, they called him crazy. Called them all crazy. But Cat Williams ain't got nothing to lose now. He's spilling all the beans. So is 50 Cent.
Look at this one. We'll wrap it up here. It is no secret that Mr. Combs had specific bottles of alcohol designated for females and other bottles designated for his staff, his artist, and himself. This fact was detailed by former artists and bodyguards of Mr. Combs. As a sponsor of these events, Defendant Grange had a duty and obligation to ensure that the sex workers and underage girls were not present and that Mr. Combs was not spiking the alcohol with DR drugs. Now, I hope you guys are realizing that this word here is applying to also the
Men.
underage.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
That is a big deal. That is no small issue, especially if you drug them and then have your way with them.
Mm-hmm.
The writer has spoken with several former employees of Mr. Combs who witnessed defendant Coram, the girl, you remember his female counterpart to the Ghislaine Maxwell, instruct her staff to lace champagne, De Leon, and Ciroc liquor bottles with ecstasy and other illicit drugs. So a cocktail. Mr. Jones recalls seeing defendant Habter Miriam visiting Mr. Combs' home in Miami, Florida, Los Angeles. According to Mr. Jones, whenever defendant visited Mr. Combs at his home, it would be in the evening, and she and Mr. Combs would disappear for hours. So this is I think what's going to end up killing his momentum will be that being included in the females, the young underage people.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty big deal. I have no doubt they were probably looking to see if he had any copies of video of that, because if he's keeping video of everything, he probably has videos of the underage as well.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Yeah, for sure.
And, you have people like Jay-Z cutting ties with him now. He's trying, and it's really going to shake up the world, shake up the music industry once Jay-Z and his wife, it comes out that they were part of all this too. So it's all about to get shaken up, man. And all this is meant to happen. It's supposed to happen, and we're glad it's happening, because all these people in these secret back rooms doing all this sick stuff, and it all leads back to human trafficking. All of it.
So we have a lookout, and we have to figure out what exactly is going to happen. But I think what he's doing right now is working in cahoots with the cops, at least to give as much information as he can.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's going to be without consequence. I think he may have a lesser consequence. I just didn't see who he can throw under the bus that's bigger than him. The only other people I could think that he could throw under the bus that's bigger than him is Oprah and Obama.
Yeah.
which I think they're a part of it.
That's it.
But the entire apparatus of the FBI supports the Democratic Party. Like, how is that going to do any benefit for anybody? They would keep him quiet before that would actually happen.
Well, if
Yeah.
he turns, well, here's the problem. If he turns up dead now, they've just sold their hand.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get any punishment, they've sold their hand. Either way, they can't afford for nothing to happen to Sean Combs, and they can't afford for somebody else to take the fall, because if he ends up dead, that would completely ruin everybody's perception of what was going on, and I would actually sell themselves out. They can't afford to.
Yeah.
So the best for them thing to do is to have him go to jail for a time with other people.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Marlon, on that, because if you look what happened to Epstein, which we all know he didn't do what he did to himself in jail, and then the same type of situation just with Diddy, and he ends up getting taken out, that's going to be a red flag for a lot of the American people or people around the world. They're going to be, wait a minute. So Epstein had this list of all these famous celebrities and politicians he winds up taken out. Now Diddy, in the same situation, has all these names of all these powerful people. Now he's taken out. What are they hiding? What are they hiding from the American people? So I agree. Let this thing go to trial. Let it happen. Let it all burn. You know, I want to see the whole disease, corrupt system just burn. Start over.
Do we know where Diddy is?
No.
Right now? Does anybody know where he is?
No.
That'll probably be the best answer for them, is that he just disappears, whether it be like he never comes back or he just living in another country, and they're like, we would get him, but we can't get him, you know.
Extradition.
Yeah, but if only for that pesky extradition. I mean, look what we have to do to get Assange. I mean, there's no way we're going to be able to get this guy.
He made a post about doing something new even after the raid. I just don't know from where. They say it was from his mansion, but I don't know about all that.
Yeah, I saw that.
If it is something he's planning to do more of, well, they tracked his plane to the Caribbean right around the time of the raids. Okay. And then I had found out from my people on the ground in the country he landed in, which is the one I just came from, that they wouldn't say anything about yay or nay that he was there, which tells me he was there. Okay. If you can't say no, he wasn't here, then he was there. Okay, he was there. As for extradition, I don't know if that's one of those non-extradition places. I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
Because they depend too much on the American economy. So I think what may end up happening is you'll see him resurface. It'll go quiet for a while, and then all of a sudden you'll see it kick back off, and they'll drop somebody else instead of him when it comes back.
Well, it's like his. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, look at this. You know, they said he was an FBI informant in one of the videos.
Yeah,
the FBI, if they're really scared and labeling him an informant, where do you think they'll put him? And they'll claim that he's in what type of custody? Protective custody under the FBI, which they will make him disappear. He will be no more. So, you know, that's another thing. If the FBI knew about all this and all these powerful people are involved, they realize if they take him out, that's going to be a red flag. So we'll just put him in protective custody. We'll make him disappear. No one will hear from him again. No one will talk to him again. No one will know where he's at. And it'll just fizzle away like they do with every other thing.
Here's the last thing I'll mention about it. You ever realize when everyone on the left talks about somebody on the right, they're usually doing the same thing they're accusing them, right?
Yeah.
Well, remember Puff had said something about people like Donald Trump needs to be eradicated. You know, white men like him needs to be eradicated, right?
Yeah.
And he's basing that on the charges with that RICO word on Trump. Take a gander here.
What do we see? What do we got?
He ran a RICO
RICO.
enterprise.
Okay. Okay.
Wait. All defendants have engaged in all the RICO enterprise, which all defendants have engaged in, and the activities in which affected interstate and foreign commerce is compromise of an association, in fact, of persons including each defendant and other unnamed co-conspirators. That association, in fact, was structured by various contracts and non-contractual relationship between the defendants, by which defendants assumed different roles in agreeing to carry out a mail and wire fraud scheme to acquire drugs, firearms, prostitutes, minors, sex workers, and the labor of producers, musicians, writers, creators, artists, and such as the plaintiff to utilize their talents and labor to produce music and to other tangible goods and services without compensation. Wait 1 second, though. Ready for the crazier part?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can find it here. If I remember seeing it, where did I see it? Here we go. Upon information and belief, this RICO enterprise has existed for at least 20 years.
Yeah.
Dating back to the 1999 club shooting in New York when Mr. Combs required his then girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez, to transport his illegal firearm into the New York nightclub. Mr. Combs forced his then artist Shane to assume responsibility for the shooting and several individuals.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
So here's the thing. There's no concrete reporting showing where Diddy is right now. So
No,
like
they
they claim that he wasn't on his plane when it went to Antigua,
Mhm.
right? That he wasn't on there and that he was found through a social media interaction or encounter somewhere around Easter that he was in Miami.
Mhm.
But nobody has for sure said he is in Miami or he's not in Miami. And I believe he is not in Miami.
Uh-huh.
No.
I think he is gone.
He hiding.
He gone. Like
I mean,
so
he-
according to his
Yeah, didn't he sell everything though? Didn't he get rid
No.
of sign it over to his
he
children?
started selling a bunch of stuff.
And and he signed a lot of stuff over to his kids. I don't know
Yeah.
whether he did that beforehand or he had a plan to do it as it was a fail safe, a kill switch. I don't know. It might be a tad late for him to try and do it because it will and definitely make him look guilty by trying to sell off his stuff in other people's names so he would have less to pay. However, like I was just about to say, Teresa, why are you trying to run ahead of me? There are tunnels underneath his
He's in
home.
a tunnel.
Yeah.
Okay, there are tunnels underneath his home. So
Because the only people that are showing up on any of the news reports are his kids.
yeah,
Diddy's nowhere to be seen with any of his kids. He's not in anything. All the news reportings are like he's somewhere. They claim he's in Miami, that he's staying put in Miami, but there's no evidence that he's in Miami. We haven't seen that, and neither has the authorities picked up Diddy, even though they have evidence, at least enough that they would have arrested Trump for,
easily.
right? Or any of the Jan 6 protesters, right? For less. Right? So like we have people that are getting arrested for misdemeanor charges and kept in jail for 2 years over January 6th, but they can't seem to find Diddy.
He's like what's his name? What's that? Bin Laden. Right?
Yeah.
Osama
Hiding in
bin
the
Laden. Let's be real here. They know exactly where Diddy's at.
They know where he is, man.
They know. Look, the amount of technology. If these fools can find bone fragments in the Twin Towers after 9/11, they know where Diddy's at. They have phones. They have tracking devices. They know where he's at. He's too big of a name to just be hiding out in plain
Look,
sight.
If you really want us to believe that you can go to the moon, that Negroes, come on, y'all can find Puffy. Come on.
Yeah. You want us to believe that? You can find P. Diddy or Puffy or Sean Combs, whatever he calls himself now.
P. Diddler.
So he'll be spotted somewhere, kind of like Elvis.
Oh, Bob Marley or
15
Tupac.
years. Bob Marley.
Yeah,
I saw Tupac on the Virgin Islands. You know what I mean? So he's hiding, and they know where he's hiding. They're keeping him there. They're going to keep it hush hush because they realize if they for some reason, whoever has to get him, which you need to take the FBI off of that and hire some freaking private mercenaries to go hunt him down and bring him in. They know everyone's going down.
Yeah.
They know it.
Yeah. And I mean, the claim that
Everyone.
he's a CI for the FBI shouldn't let the FBI handle looking into a guy that they're supposed to be their CI.
Yeah,
That's
right.
kind of a conflict of interest because like they have cases they worked on with this guy.
Here's a thing I think we'll start thinking about as to why you won't find him.
Mm.
Do not forget he was one of the main fundraiser people for nearly all of the Democrat campaigns from 2004 till about recently as 2016 with Hillary. So if any of their names are involved in this is another reason why you will not hear from him because they can't. And this is why they want the case to go away because their names might be popping up. If their names pop up, that could harm if the election happens, that will harm the 2024 elections. Why I think it's going quiet all of a sudden.
That's right.
Yeah.
They probably found names. They probably
I
found
got it.
bodies with them.
Yeah, my joke is like, where were you at, Bill? Were you at one of them freak out parties when
freak
Hillary
out
was
parties, yeah.
campaigning with Diddy?
Yeah, I mean, think about this. When he was campaigning for Barack, remember the whole Rock the Vote? Was it Rock the Vote?
Yeah, it was Rock the Vote.
The
Yeah.
whole Rock the Vote campaign. Wasn't there stuff that came out about them having pizza parties?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And who would be the guy besides Epstein that they would use to help host these pizza parties? Diddy. So they're scared because if that is true, if it comes back to all these political figures, the Hillarys, Diddy and all these people or Obama, and Diddy was responsible for hosting these parties, they're going to start looking real deep, especially if Diddy is a pedo himself and a human trafficker himself. They're going to start looking really hard at these politicians. So, of course, they're going to protect him. They're going to hide him. He's going to disappear.
Mm-hmm.
I found Diddy's public defender, if you had one.
Oh, that thing. Oh, gosh. I ain't playing that. That thing was nasty. When I saw it, I was
that.
What is that?
That's a
Brother.
Wildebeest.
Brother,
Save that for the hooch.
brother, what is that? Brother,
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought that was funny. Oh, man.
That's hooch stuff.
Honestly, seriously, I mean, I'm my wheels are spinning at how wide Diddy's reach was within culture, government, and even in industry. Like
Yeah.
like if he does talk or something happens to him, like the names will be endless. The heads will start rolling, and certain cultural institutions will come crumbling down.
Yes.
Yeah.
This was from
It's
his
crazy.
white parties that he had. Now, you realize Star Jones is in there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mariah Carey in there?
Mm-hmm.
One of the
Tommy Lee.
Run DMCs,
Just
Tommy
so
Lee.
you know.
Yeah.
Just so you know. Okay. This is a big deal. DiCaprio.
Leo.
Oh yeah, he's been name dropped multiple times.
This is
You
like, is that
remember-
Paris Hilton? That's Paris
Paris
Hilton there.
Yep, in the back.
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Little
Snooki.
Kim.
That's Little Kim. Yeah,
That's Little
okay, she's
Kim
better.
before
Before
her
she
face
turned
got
white.
fat.
Nick Cannon.
Up. Nick Cannon.
Okay, so like the names are
Mary J.
Oh, look.
Howard Stern.
Because they're. Yeah.
Howard Stern. What's her Osborne girl?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Paris Hilton. That dude
Carter.
already
Franklin?
gone.
Backstreet Boys.
She gone.
Aretha
Ooh.
Franklin, people. Aretha Franklin.
Now-
Think about how many names are involved in this and could have been involved in even worse.
And you're
Yeah.
right. And Martin, look at the name. You just pointed out Aretha Franklin, right?
Al Sharpton.
Aretha Franklin was hanging around a person like P. Diddy, probably knowing this stuff. He didn't hide it. Like you said, he was very open and very flamboyant about his parties. If Aretha Franklin, someone who's supposed to be as humble and powerful as she is, was at his parties, that should tell you a lot about
A
the
lot.
names and the people that you worship. Some of you people worship these celebrities and these musicians out there. That should tell you something. Look,
Russell
Al,
Simmons,
Nacho Sharpton.
Lennox Lewis.
Boxer.
Yes.
I mean,
Felicia
Look at-
Rashad
Yep.
from the Cosbys.
Mm.
Come on, look. When I tell you, this is a reason why they
Rihanna.
don't
Lisa
want.
Liu.
Yep, they don't want anybody
Ling.
falling down to this. The names go on and on and on and on. They go on. Amber Rose.
Oh, Ashton Kutcher, of course.
Which is crazy to me.
Oh,
with Ashton.
yeah.
Yeah, we knew about that. Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
Chloe.
Chloe. Seth. Look, man, come on, man.
Look.
Jonah Hill. This is insane. The amount of people and
is that
names
Chris
have
Brown?
been
Was
to
that Chris
these
Brown?
things.
That was
Huh?
Diana Ross's sister and someone else.
So
But
when you think about how many people have been to the so-called white party, any Diddy party, the names are insanely crazy when you think about who we just kind of assumed they were good people.
And to
Nope.
think, I was back in high school, hearing people talk about Diddy's white party and being like, oh, that's the party of all parties. That if we were ever to get a shot at being in one of those, that would be the make or break point for our popularity as high schoolers. And yet, sitting back now thinking about it, I'm just like, man, I was an idiot to think that.
Yep. Now,
We all are.
don't forget, Diana Ross was also trying to groom Michael Jackson. Don't ever forget that
Yeah.
she was
Dirty
messing with him when he was a kid. So
That's why that song "Dirty Diana."
okay,
You guys think about that. That's why that
there's-
song was
You
created.
my mind.
You brought it up earlier that these people know. Like it's not like nobody knew what Diddy was up to. It's the same thing with like Harvey, right? Everybody
Right, they
knew
knew.
what Harvey was up to. Same thing with Epstein. Everybody knew what Epstein was up to. It wasn't a secret. All this stuff was in the open. It's just that these people protected them for so long until they couldn't anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And another reason why these people don't talk, because like I stated earlier in the segment, what happens when you come out and talk, or if you even mention it, just something, they ruin you.
Mm-hmm.
They make you seem like you're crazy. They try to take your kids from you, like they did with Cat Williams when he was coming out talking about this years ago. They called CPS on him. They took his kids. They threw him in jail. They labeled him as crazy. He got all these charges. You know what I mean? So these people were scared. Like, if I talk, they're just going to make something up on me, being that a lot of these people, like they're saying that Diddy's an FBI informant. You know how easy it is for the FBI and the DOJ to just create something, throw it in the computer and say you did it? You know how easy that is? So, of course, they were scared. They're not going to talk. I'm not going to talk.
That's the same thing about certain people finding CPU miraculously on computers of people they have problems with.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
same thing. So they knew. They probably even briefed them. Hey, you're going to see some stuff at this party. Here's a non-disclosure agreement that you sign. If you want to come to this party, you're going to sign this non-disclosure agreement. If you talk, these are the things we will do to you. And you can't even talk about the things we're going to do, but you're signing it. And they agree.
Yeah.
Of course, they're not going to come out and talk.
Either way, this is going to be a really interesting thing to see flesh out.
Oh, yeah.
I can't even make a logical prediction about this one. But I do know this: it will give the public a true insight into how the system works, and it has nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with how much you can give and what you can get back.
Yep.
Okay, and who you can protect. This is not a two-tiered system based on race. It's a two-tiered system based on influence. Straight up influence.
Dollars.
Which is why they have influence peddling at every level of government. That's why. So it'd be interesting to see what happens after this. Now tomorrow, it's a 80% chance we will have the Rumble event, but I'm telling y'all now, if tomorrow feels like today, I'll be sleeping. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. I might take my Saturday and finally sleep. Now, if these fellas want to do their show, I got no problem. I'll set it up and go to bed. That's all I'm telling you now. All I'm saying. I would love to be there, but if I'm there and I'm not coherent, I might as well not be there. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it also depends on my schedule, like we discussed backstage. So you'll definitely know tomorrow for sure.
Here's my final thought before we go run it down. It's the fact that it's amazing to me that the FBI is capable of doing the most miraculous things of investigation only when it suits them.
Yep.
With this whole thing, it's like we can track down an old lady in Alaska that nobody knows about because I pinpointed her credit card at being at January 6th, but I can't seem to figure out who the people were contacting Epstein and using his services. Same thing with Diddy. I cannot for the life of me figure out any of the people that paid for services from Diddy.
No, not one.
Did they
Not a
find the
single one.
cocaine bag in the White House yet?
Oh, that's even the better one. I forgot about that one. Yeah. And I can't figure out for the life of me, in the most secure place in the entire United States with the most cameras and security services, I have no idea who dropped the drugs. Not a clue.
But we can find passports after planes crashed inside the 2 hours.
Right.
We found all the passports and we know who they all are just a couple hours after it happened. We know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Come on. And
I can send an old lady to jail for a year.
For a year.
Yeah,
for January
so
6th.
They all know, and again, they're all involved. And when I say they're all involved, I'm talking about from the lowest bodyguard all the way up into the Department of Justice, all the way up to the presidency. They're all involved. They all know. They all know.
Ain't nothing like a Diddy party.
Ain't
That's
no
what
party
LeBron
like
said.
a deep party.
Yep.
In any case, we'll be back on Monday for sure. And hopefully we'll have some juicy details on something Biden's doing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. Be some falling apart food or something. In any case, we'll be back Monday. Make sure you tune in up. I'm trying to solidify when that interview is going to happen, guys. So I don't know yet, but I'm also trying to see if we can find a big name to come and talk to us. I'm not going to give you all who it is yet. Just know it's a big name. And I'm working on trying to get a big name to come talk to us. And if it does work out, we'll be good. We'll be in business.
Yes, that'd be a good one.
It will be a good one. A small peon in the grand scheme, but a big peon compared to us. So
Yes.
okay, we'll have that discussion. So don't forget, don't miss out. If we do have it tomorrow, make sure you monitor our YouTube page, because I will put up, if it is live, I'll make sure we go live at least a little bit on YouTube before we take it down. But we will advertise there regardless on our community spot if we're going to have a live on Rumble. Okay, so keep an eye out there. So Monday, Straight Talk and Savage Patriots, and Hooch is on Tuesday.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Don't
All
forget
right,
about the solar eclipse Monday.
Close your eyes. You'll miss it. You'll miss it better.
Stare at it. No, I'm
And
gonna
if
be
you
inside.
vote vote for the left, you should stare at it directly.
Yes, please
Yes.
do.
Yeah.
It,
I'm gonna
it
be inside
enhances
that
your
day.
chi.
I'm
It
joking.
enhances your
Obviously,
chi.
don't do that. Jesus.
No, I'm not
I'm
joking.
not.
It will enhance your chi. Your entire look, all of your meridians will flow better. You'll engage the sun god. It's great. Try it.
Forget
No,
about
you got to get all
Mercury
that yang
retrograde.
energy into you. That yang energy
Yeah.
is good for your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Superman rays. Trust me, it'll work. It just works. Anyway, we'll catch up on Monday, guys. Mr. Lee.
So from us peons to you peons, like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you all later. Peace.
War.